Hello, and today you are here with Mr. Ajit Williams, AJ Peter. What are your names?
No, but you're actually right. Peter. You had omitted Peter.
Yeah. Peter is your middle name?
Yes.
Ajit Peter Williams.
Yeah.
Musimano wako Mandunyan.
No.
Semotswane.
Yes.
How far is that from Mandunyan?
We actually give me you can't tell the difference.
That's why I was confused.
But it's two different and independent villages. No, how most Motswana houses you can actually tell. Because you just off A1, then you hella house no tolas porots and most Motswana. And then you
drive a bit further.
Yes. When hella difference like cut line. You can't even tell.
Okay.
Like we are
Yeah. Welcome to the BUA podcast, where we talk everything careers.
Yeah.
Today we are joined by a lawyer by profession. So I think just take us back. Where did you grow up?
Thanks for having me over. Like you said, like I had said, Semotswane. I did my primary school go Tulodi Primary, and then I had a year stint go Semotswane Primary. Then I went back to Tulodi Primary. Then I did my junior school go Tonta Community. Then my senior school go Shashi River. So basically, I like let's go Tonota Les Semotswane.
So I think let's just address the elephant in the room. Which is the guy's Swan?
Yeah, no.
Investor.
No, as an investor. No, my mom ke Motswana. Yeah, my mother ke Motswana hela. Born here, grew up here. My dad came on India. Investor. The investor was actually my dad. Unfortunately, he passed on 95.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah, while ago.
Sorry, man.
So then, so what happened when he was here? And then when he passed on, so an extended family setup from a nuclear family. So Semotswane, that's where I learned my Setswana. So I think basically because already ke Motswana. Setswana is as part of the language. And then Semotswane, I think that's where it became a perfect. Then I went to I'm a public school product.
Yeah.
So let's say it's an all my government school all my life, including university. It's in the University of Botswana. So yeah. I'm a product government schooling.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Hey, what are you two product of the diamond? That Bohulukin window story where Hopol. I think she was the then Minister of Trade.
Yeah.
So there will be something about the Kimberley process or something about diamonds go to the diamonds for development. I was born in a government hospital, went to school in a government school, tertiary and secondary. My job is with the government of Botswana.
Yeah.
So man.
No, true.
No, but I think every one of us is, especially those born after 1972.
Yeah.
They call it the diamond boom. So from there, where did you game?
So I did 7 years of primary education. So I did Tulodi Primary, Standard 1, and then Soa.
Your old lady or
my grandmother.
Street.
Yeah. Okay. No, I took it after time. I took a moved from a nuclear into an extended family setup. So I was Spanish go Soa. So Soa. I think I did a term primary school in Soa. And then everywhere Spanish chase I feel alright. Also hates happy no bana never I feel alright. I take attention. So remove Semotswane. So I guess my grandfather, my mom's dad, may his soul rest in peace, Mr. Isaac Sko Otse. He's like, no.
Oh, you didn't know the Isaacs from Otze?
Yeah.
You are related to them as well?
Yeah, no, through my mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom, she's an Isaacs product. So my grandfather bar no, take it say ban. I get gonna tota time on us avail. So people are trying to pitch in who tusa lady who disa ban. So it was 3 of us from my mom and dad. So my grandfather bar my younger brother. So for I left Otse standard 4, as in Otse primary school from standard 1, 2, and 3. And then I think standard 3 third term or standard 4 first term maybe Tolodi. And then standard 5 Tolodi yes. You can basically in it's Semotswane primary Semotswane, because it was the closest primary school to the village. Yes,
okay.
Yeah, it's also a separate villages. So Hokwa is just the number of villages close to each other. When you look at them, they then make up Tonota, or they form part of Tonota.
Okay.
So Harabala standard 6. Then government had just completed Semotswane primary school. Semotswane primary. So because the school was new, these people, they can be the first intake. I think first standard 7, it's a Semotswane primary. So Tonta community to go and complete. My brother at the time was doing standard 4. Yes. They were the first group standard 7. So standard 7 kana kwarni near how tseri busa go bala form 1
yes.
So you know that exam in one of those exams then it goes you study hard, and that's actually when I learned for Peter is actually I have another name here, Peter. For the longest, Niki Pizala Ajit Williams. I ran how register So, Harry hates a horror on the community. And back in the day, Kanako primary Nereja Nyola street. Yeah, Naganako horror night was Nereja Nyola, but most of the time Nereja Mutoho street. Obana Locum Piano, but Hagijimuto.
Because of the trauma.
Yeah, no, because Kujilet had. Kanan Ruja go to Ludimelo Horne, Rotsenya, no rocks. Sweet 80, spicy, mash, you name everything. We had it, sukiri, whatever you could. So we had it on tape. So we used to really look forward to. But primary, I don't think primary school
they did that every day. Yeah.
Size 25, so they didn't really have time. So we used to actually look forward to Form 1 because that was going to be the first time Oja Haflo or Lof Unwa Funa. Unwa tea, Milo.
Chicken and rice
meat.
Corner
lunch.
Yes.
So go to Ludnioja Halaka 10 and then ka lunch So we used to actually near however like the exam with the guys. So Tolodi is on the other side of A1. So if you're facing Francistown, it's actually on the right after Tolodi River. So it's a primary school on the right.
Okay.
So my teacher Arna used to say Litola Spor. Lof Otola Spor meaning Otola A1, then the railway, because the community is on the other side of the railway line. So you'd look forward to Heza Hopasa from standard 7 where Nyola. Lo and behold, Harabala 7 in medical or government Otakamana no Ashap, Hutisua beefy, Hutisua Mashia, Pakisua and lawful. We be not said. Master 7. Ish meet never will you one. Because now
that whole thing that you
because that whole thing in a lower you look forward to Wahoja lawful, unwa hisang, Mashi and all that all went away because we are now they were now provided for. But I guess it's a good thing, like you're saying. The diamond kids, like you're saying, but diamond, you need to see that improvement. So anyway, Form 1 to Form 3, I did it Kotonta community. I think we are under the leadership, Mr. Mbula, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he was the deputy head. For some reason, I forgot my headmaster. Yeah, and then I had Buma Papani, A couple of teachers, Mr. Modongo, I think. Yeah.
So you finished your Form 3 there?
Yeah. So Form 3 also, there was a catch. So Form 3, remember how you fail Form 3, you can't go and do Form 5. So the community is on the other side of the railway line. Like, so how's the community? How can I Form 3? Hey, hasn't got spore. So the whole thing, Yakotola spore was also used again. To look forward to Hotola sporo and Shashe River. And then I went to Shashe. I did my Form 4, Form 5, go Shashe River.
So where are you at on the boy mus?
Yeah, basically.
You can see that.
No, like the back of my hand.
Interesting stuff. So then, was there a family lawyer or was there somebody? Why law?
I think one of the best person to answer this question would be my grandmother. May used to like saying, "Hey, Ajit do manganga." Wow, bala. They used to say, there's one time go dadling. Kind of wanted to do a BATHO. So my cousin I decided I was a kopi. About sinya tsabana. Right? About sinya sukiri. About puku is powdered milk. Yeah. So about sinya muting. Utaba a mixer every. So he was older than us, so he could get away with doing things like that. So about nyamuting ha kopi aba ra rentele ke molapi wa bana o ntshwaranke ke motsenyetsa mo so we go running after him, so everyone catches him except me. So I get pissed off ke be ke sala lunch, so be ke amutika o retse here, so aba a dodge be ke 2 fence there ha ke thiba gore I'm the only one left there. My aunt Habula Lebati. We tell her ke one here. So ha me ato me ona ile merapelo me ha tsena wa molor kana ji tu tibile fence there. Karena are garai don't die. Are me gare go bona le one ka reason. I slept that day 12 midnight Lord, my grandmother says to me, just bua hela ngwana ka gore ke reason na ke a 2 fence there ke kile ka nganga go teno le ha ke re le nna ha ke a go ya magone hale ke ha ile re fence there ke iputsa gore go iragala. So e go te gore ha o robale house a win it. My grandmother actually found me ke me ana ke itsegile ka dressing table ka nne robala mo rooming le mosadi mo go raba was ne sense re le bo manqachi, so ke itsegile ana ka go mo ke emeletse and kurgante bantar kurajit o gana hela go dumela go thubile fester bona hela go robala we mes kra never. So I think the passion hela ya law go nna manganga go nna argumentative go nna o taka ditori eng. So then fortunately my mom worked for a law firm, a legal secretary. So then I got exposed to meeting the lawyer. I've met quite a number of them. Bopaja Butale, to name a few. When I was a lady, so you meet these guys.
This was you before his phone.
Yeah. This was, and this was Paja when he was a football star. So you can imagine you are meeting a football star at the same time you are meeting a lawyer, and we grew up idolize or admire radio. TV. I think we got a TV. We got Motakase ko Ohunkuka 2003. We got a TV about 2003, because I remember how Motakasos non I convinced my grandmother can 6 or something like that. Then Nela Mad 600 bull. So there's a Shashe station. Yeah. So Shashe station. So Shashe station is actually Semotswane. So the village, some of us we use interchangeably the name Shashe because of the Shashe station. So kipagama terena mate get to. Elor hate ko Blue Town go na mathaka mangwa ba kanya di TV kwa be ke a tsena kwa ke reka TV 600 bule pagama basi. I remember ha ke emela di phone tseletsa wa di bona tsa bogologolo hating not tsa go station, not tsa booth
ntse pula
tsene di tshwarwa ke basadi ba
ntse one pool
I think so the phones for you or something so tsene di tsa bo UK jack yeah so ke le ko bus ranking ke crimile cell phone number a magriza e ke be ke tshwara magriza ke ra ke a emela gore ne lo re yanong Semotswane ha ena di bus it makes sense anyway because Mandunyane so re pagama di bus tsa Mandunyane because you pass through Semotswane then Mandunyane it wouldn't make sense gore ne le bus ya Semotswane so gore ke pagama bus ya Mandunyane I call my grandmother gore hey o bolele my siblings gore ke ithela ba nkemetse ka kiriba ko stop ha clinic so la gore ga clinic ke no good ra pega so we get home and we didn't know gore go tokana le bo area le and what so ke ta ka TV ha ena any accessories ra tshuba so you can imagine the frustration in Robalare so basically that's Semotswane and then Shashe River 2 years go Shashe after Shashe because I had met Bonobo Pajo lady I berakamulo fame after Shashe River I applied to UB then I get into law school.
Oh, nice one. So, how were your studies though? When did you finish in your stipulated 5 years?
Yes. Fortunately, I did with no retake as well.
Is it a course that demands so much from you, or is it just a walk in the park? Maybe what do you need for it? Is it a passion or?
Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you, but anyone can do law. Yeah, it's not really a course it's technical, yes, but anyone can do it. I'll tell you why I say anyone can do it. All you need to have a passion. You cannot get away with not reading.
Oh yes,
at all.
I remember that's the one thing that I struggled with. Yeah. So Nikira, I did law 234, constitutional law. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a very beautiful course. If you are prerequisite, or at any tertiary, law 251, contract law.
Yes.
Yeah, so I still remember them because it's a super like 2 minutes because I was studying economics and public admin. So public admin, like these 2 electives. So they were compulsory for you to understand the other fundamentals of public administration, and understandably so. But I think law, the 251 from Nakonix and Tikira, there was a time where I wanted to dabble into marketing. So I just did it as an elective. So, there was parts they the open book exams.
Yeah.
No, when I'm looking one Professor Nsereko, the green one.
Yes.
And then we also went in there with the copy of the Constitution of Botswana. My man, the test paper was there. I still saw dust.
Yeah.
I was arguing my answers. What you call it? I remember there was an exam some minister who was on a ministerial what is it unconstitutional so police would flag down or whatever something like that so minister I claim some minister so I forgot the actual details but like you're saying it needed a lot of application and for you to divorce your way of thinking how other cases because with public admin it was mostly about essays and Maslow's hierarchy those fundamentals but this one you had to apply the knowledge and then the case so I was just still fresh from the other side of the campus and so I figured it's a course that you have to read a lot.
Yeah, even because currently I'm not in private practice, so the engagement but I have not stopped reading because I know that should I want to venture back into private practice, I need to have still my skills of reading have to be sharpened again. So I don't want to have to go through that transition. So you read, Baba. You read. In fact, Ronay the open book exam because one, or Michael the scale or Saho Maka. But also the fact that you need to read everything to know where to find it. So how questionnaire like the example you just gave is a bit more of an administrative law issue. It's admin law. Minister, what do you do? What do you say? So you can't just, like you're saying, our legal setup, we work on decided cases. It's a common law principle. So you have to then say,
we use precedents.
Yes, we use precedents. We say the court ruled in this way. So case the court should rule this way, because you have to look at how it ruled in the so you need to then know so you read. So if you don't have a passion for reading, law will definitely give you a bit of a challenge. But I think most of us I speak for myself, one of the courses that really challenging was one called negotiable instruments. The one deals with payment, checks, and so forth. And now, because the phase out in the world now, e-wallet, I think Leone's course is going to evolve. It's a very technically engaging
I'll read up about it.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
So it's all about the payments. Back in the day, the check. So I pay you 5,000 with a check. It's just that in this part of the world, endorse it. So in the international world, you endorse a check, you sign it over to me. I take it for value. Then I sign it like the next person. So it will talk about guys, baba check book,
was that before the advent? The bank guaranteed.
Yeah, no, it's around the same time. You got to I agree with the bank guarantee. You have to. The bank confirms there's money in your account, but with checks, you just transact. That is why Malata check a bounce back in the day. Hello, serious. Stevie,
because
yes, and everyone had to believe for that leaflet that you are holding on. So
I remember my first few years to business about back data. It was not like cash ka di 3 Monday 3. You wake up, you say, no, I'm getting paid. We got, hey, manna bona. Taka check you kwano ke honele cash.
Yeah.
How's it not cook up some other story?
Yeah, because then I saw to higher bounds.
Yes.
Because it's a different offense.
Oh, but that sounds interesting. Tell me about the internship part.
Yeah.
Was there a part where you guys were forced to, because there were courses before internship became a thing? Now it's become a thing, like most courses. There were courses in definitely Lucas quality tertiary education.
Yeah, no, little law. You have to do internship ka 4th year. So my internship story is a bit also crazy to an extent. So there's a firm, Kilgina Bayan Associates. So Hakira Thidi, my mom's friend on Iberkati. So the lady's like, no, Rajiti, I play internship with her. So we get email, get internship. So maybe let me just backtrack a bit. So my dad married my mom. So my dad's names were Babura Marau Valuri. So we grew up Lerona with the Valuri name. I think I dropped Valuri name Mika 97, 96. This is what happened. I grew up So before case unity down, but with the whole case. Because we do work in Motswana, Nagaska pass citizenship
to you guys.
So
yes.
Yeah. So
for
I can say ni me time. Tama toka hale bara olidi ba ye. Bana ba haba kasala ka valuri horor ba dipoti ba boela go India ka ra se batswa. So horor go change hari tori a grene sentse le bogologolo ko karata ya clinic ya me yelo ke valuri. So horor change ka speed horor re boela go senimi ya ga lady, which is Williams.
Okay.
Williams. So what 15 years later ke kwala kile email ke go paspan. So what do? We can let me take advantage. So I dropped Peter, ke drop Williams, ke Ajit Valuri, because the guy is an Indian fam.
Hey.
So mtakoro wana Ajit Valuri, I'm going to email. He's like, no, come for an interview. So I get another run. So he was busy, lawyers are always busy, man. So abam panela 5 minutes and so what internship, I'm like, yeah, it's like time out, no time over. He's like, oh, okay, so you're gonna write why I go buy shop. So I get away the back or Liverpool. Liverpool, biggest Liverpool fans on Panakeli. Except the Liverpool, I think it was Steven Gerrard. I think Steven Gerrard since Aleda. So everyone knew who Steven Gerrard was. I'm like, yeah, no, Steven Gerrard is like our guy. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm a Liverpool proper. In and through and through. So he's like, okay, no, sure. Come work. So then I got my internship done with Akil Jinabai. Yeah, it was an Indian firm. So from there,
that's a beautiful story, because I'm always telling the guys that I work with, you need to know a bit of everything. Imagine Serena Williams, and then that might be the only thing that's going to close a deal for you. Yeah. Hey, so from UB, you started first with private practice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So go Akil. Then I did my internship with him.
Oh yes,
yeah,
internship.
So then,
yes.
After internship, na ke vai. So no, then like the Fridays, once a week. So I did my internship like a local UB once a week, and then Harry hates Spanati. So I worked with him for Ajit Williams. No, that's what's because what I know payroll had yeah,
I also learned what he was impressed with the work you're doing.
Yeah. So was with Akil 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Our firm merges with a Desai Law Group. So I was with Desai also for a year, and then that's when I left private practice.
No, okay. So what does a lawyer do? Maybe let's start here first. How many types of lawyers are there? I took out the notaries, conveyancers, attorneys. Yes. Now, pura. I think my dad wanted me to be a lawyer because there was that other one.
Boston Legal.
Before those ones. I'm talking about the 90s, man. So, he's a very excitable person. So objection your honor. He'd get excited, and he's that type of guy how do you TV lane. So your first choice law. I don't know why I've heard many people say I would have made a great lawyer. I also think I would have. Yeah, but
it's not too late, by the way.
Yeah, some people say that, hey, but I can't read anymore. But actually, now I find law funny, very interesting to read. Yeah. So that's what we thought. So some friend of mine, no, not all lawyers were the pura. We were caught to lose the cases. Some hella banela movies. So so Semola was thinking, maybe just even go back as far as defining what magistrate is, what a judge is, and the difference between the two, the defense, and what hela. Then we have the notary, the conveyancer, the attorney, and the board seki.
Yes.
All of that.
Yeah. It's gonna be like quite a mouthful.
So
but so let me just start our legal system. So we have the common law legal system that we are using. We also have the customary law. So we have to COSI administering customary law, customary law president, something like that. The president,
Yes.
Then we have the common law legal system. So we have the magistrate courts. They do civil matters up to 100,000 pula, like how about moto designing up to 100,000 pula. And then they also do criminal matters. I think both theft common, assault common, grievous bodily harm. And then they start off rape and murder, manslaughter. Then they are Court of Appeal. Before court. The committee go High Court. So then we have the High Court. The High Court has got unlimited jurisdiction. It can even hear matters somehow called the 2,000 pula. It can hear matters somehow called the 200 million or so forth. So unlike the magistrate court signaling a limit. Then you have the Court of Appeal, which is the highest court, appellate division, you appeal the customary court decision, the industrial court decision, and the high court decision. You take them to the Court of Appeal. Then we also have a labor industrial court, which is a labor court, to hear labor issues. Your processing starts from the labor office, district office, mediation, arbitration, and then industrial court. And then if you're not satisfied, you appeal to the Court of Appeal. It's more or less on the same level as the High Court. But UNHL it specializes or is specialized in that. Then we have the Land Tribunal. It's not a court per se, it's just a tribunal. It deals with land issues. Leone, the person who presides, the judge president there, is someone who can be appointed a high court judge. Then the tribunal, the Bayanyan of late, there is the public procurement tribunal that is now there.
Tender.
Yes. But also that Leone is presided over by someone who has the same ranking as a high court judge. So you have that. Now you get into the practice of law. You have private practice, and then what we call not private practice or commercial or corporate. So with private practice, you are subsets of lawyers. So you have your criminal lawyers who do criminal law, and then you have your this will be your criminal lawyers in the DPP who prosecute people who are.
So, but DPP has a private.
It's no, I don't want to call them private because they go to court. Because they act for the government or the state or the people. So when they are the ones who will prosecute criminal offenses on behalf of the government, on behalf of the people. DPP. Then in the private space of private law firms, you have guys then who would specialize in criminal law. They'll defend the criminal or the people who have been charged by the DPP for offenses. Then you have your civil litigation lawyers, and then you want to sue your employer for money or civil. They go to court. Then conveyancers and notary public. So the conveyancers, these are lawyers who deal in transfer of land or land issues, the wheelie, the trust there. So you don't have to go to court for that one. At the firm, when I was at the firm, I didn't practice that type of law. That's personal health. So I did civil and criminal law. So I used to represent a few people here and there who are accused of and theft and that. Then you move into corporate, which is where I am right now. So I left private practice, now I'm in corporate space. So corporate law needs, I'd say maybe two subsets. You have those in the parastatal space and those in the private company space. So then I'm in the parastatal, so I'm in corporate parastatal, then there are those in corporate private. So corporate private, it depends, because if you see if you are maybe in a bank, you specialize a bit more maybe in your banking law, civil issues, contracts and transactions and so forth.
So,
yeah.
So do you have to be specialized? Kobunga king dingaka re dibitsa ha ngaka ya matlo sontso re bene re tetso go ira dingaka bongaka ja matlo ya meno lo ene gona la ba simulang teng ba le mmogo e be tlasano e kgagang gore ba matlo ba meno.
If you want to do law, I'd advise anyone pick countries like Botswana. It takes 5 years to study law. I think nebar Namibia, some universities they offer it for both 3 years. South Africa, 3.5 years. Not all universities offer it. Botswana we do 5 years because it's extensive, my brother. From year 1 to year 5, you are doing a new law module, or you add more into Zeding. So you become quite broad. You how about those specialize? You specialize after the fact, as in after high school, because you want to.
Hey, but we really foundation as
saying. So you can actually venture into anything. So you want to get into corporate space and do your negotiable instruments law, your NID bank, check, payments, contract law. You want to go to DPP and be a criminal prosecutor, you do that, or you want to join private practice and be a criminal lawyer, criminal defense lawyer, you do that. You are not restricted. So you see this also with my colleagues. They have studied law outside Botswana, but they have never done conveyancing or notary practice or notarial practice. So I was by exam. So then they meet the book conveyancing for the first time. Right now we don't have to write by exams after UB because we
go straight into the bar.
Yeah, so we go straight into private practice, into practice.
So what is a bar?
No, it's just...
no, this guy made a bar. Made the bar, whatever. I don't know how you guys say it.
I got you, but for me, I think it's just a figure of speech. But the bar is appearing before the judge. It's not like bara. It's just that you have now the authority to be able to appear before a judge. So you've made the bar. Yes, you rise before the bar. Go to a bar, not bar, like a bar or something. Yeah, it's more similar like that.
We look at the judge, we look at the magistrate. Go tshwanela le gompieno o tla go tenya supermarket e butswa ha le re go tika le so batho le na CV ya mekeo mphiring. Does anybody who has studied or successfully completed the LLB qualify to be a magistrate?
So with the magistracy, I would say yes or no, and no at the same time. Yes, in the sense that there were programs before, if I'm not sure if they're still there because I've left private practice, where, because I know colleagues of mine that I was in class with, they understudied and then became magistrates. They were, I think, attached to the high court. So they understudied to become magistrates. But I think generally they advertise and then you apply. But with the judge, it's different. They want a minimum of 10 years. Usually, that's just the cutoff. 10
years, why? Where?
Experience. Or 10 years.
After 10 years, we'll apply the judge.
It's like a minimum prerequisite. It's not like from first year, you get disqualified. So they need to see that, because it's like about medicine. It's more, the more you practice, the more you get more experience. Knowledgeable. How the issue, like the first time I had a criminal matter, or the first time I had any matter, I was scared. I didn't know how to draft a summons. Then by the time I left private practice 5 years later, so the experience is with years of experience, practice or more experience. So with judges, they also say minimum of 10 years, and then you get vetted. Are you good? What's your standing and so forth?
I think what I also wanted to understand was that, so you don't need to be experienced in one area. Like maybe only a defense lawyer or only a public prosecutor. Because that's where I think, when you look at the matters that are presided over by a judge, those are most of the matters setting.
Yeah.
So, as compared to maybe somebody at 10 years, maybe as a notary or conveyancer, then would they still qualify to be a judge?
Yeah. Like I said, I get the good thing how it's like you be only that experience only exposed to Malao. So in as much as what I want to specialize when you get good, your cues will always be there. We've had guys by they were or we've had people by they were from the DPP and Nadi Judge when they were prosecutors. But then when you become a judge, you just become a judge. I get molao tota hela gone at the end of the day. So mo Botswana ha rena specialized courts except for the labor court. In the UK they have your commercial courts, your family courts, they deal. So the judges at the end they become specialized judges. So rona hela since re bangile up. But I think maybe with time we'll see how we progress as a country. With time we'll end up separate to say let us have family courts so that they deal with issues like GBV, adoption, guardianship, and all and so forth. Divorce, separation. Then you have your commercial courts that deal with contracts, breaches, and so forth. And then you have your civil courts that deal with the general. But there, for now, everything is just it's a high court, it's a magistrate court. Every issue there comes, whether it's a labor issue, it's a family issue, criminal issue, civil issue, delictual issue, land issue. Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
But agree me in the space of the private practice. Hela ka ritsi mo musicing ritsi gore no ha batla kwasa ya ko mathakeng ba le ba ga Franco ha batla house kwasa ya ko mathakeng ba le ba ga Vili bo Mingu wa bona ha batla hip hop o tsamaye go goofy. So we also have those trends also within the law fraternity.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be able to name names. Because I've got friends in the space. But yeah, we have commercial law firms, top tier commercial law firms in Botswana. I think around 5. Then we have also law firms which also are good with criminal matters. You guys know quite a number of them. Or people buying. Then you also have firms that they also specialize in land and land issues. The firm I used to work with, Koha Akil Jinabai, they actually Akil specializes in land and transactions, the property, registration, the sectional title deeds. I think he's the first person to register a sectional title in Botswana.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So he's one guy who is skilled in the area of land and land issues or property and property issues. So he had that market niche, and then the firm that we partnered with, merged with Disalo Group. He was coming with experience commercial. I speak about them because so he was a commercial lawyer. He's also big in the commercial space. He does listing in the stock exchange. He has advised triple P projects and so forth. So you, like you're saying, you have those guys. Then we have very good guys in labor issues. Like I didn't want to name names like Bo Collins Chilisa, Bo Rantau. These are guys who you guys know during the strike. It's at 2011. They were the ones acting for the labor movement. So you have guys they do predominantly labor and labor related issues. So they become very good in that space.
Advocate.
Yeah.
What is the truth?
Okay. Hahoyo hote. Yeah. Kita go bolela wa ikere hahoyo. Kita go bolela wa ikere hote. In South Africa, for example, they are a common law country like us, but Bone, they have separated their bar. Yes. They have attorneys and advocates. Attorneys represent clients until the magistrate court. Attorneys cannot appear in front of a high court. In front of the high court or the Court of Appeal or Supreme Court or Constitutional Court. Only advocates can do that. Yeah. So, Botswana, we won't say hacker harned advocate kiraki compare the South African system in the sense that Ronaldi attorney, then the advocate it's the high court, the Court of Appeal.
That's right.
But we do have advocates in Botswana. Yeah, we have advocate Sadiki Bonang, we have advocate Sidney Pilani.
Where did they acquire the advocacy?
No, you just apply. I can apply even right now.
Botswana.
Yes. Through the Law Society to be admitted as an advocate. But because the principles are advocate, directly. That's the difference. So go South Africa, because the lawyer already held like a high court, go magistrate court. If they have to go to high court, case client, the lawyers are the ones who instruct the advocate. So as an advocate, they know you can't act on your own from a client directly. You have to get instructed by a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah. So you then have to now marketarna. It's still.
So but then in that case, to what purpose did it serve to want to be referred to as an advocate?
Other than the prestige that it comes with, it also because sometimes we are well specialized in your area. You only deal with your clients are lawyers. But to can come in narcotics in season. No. He advocates don't take walk-in clients.
I get you.
Yeah. So they'll refer you to. So for an advocate, it can actually help you in the sense that it reduces your maybe not. I don't want to say workload, but a lot of people coming in. But then you just you deal with clients who are lawyers that you know, or it's only lawyers that you are dealing with.
Latin. What is the fascination with Latin? Mutatis mutandis.
Yeah.
Ceteris paribus.
Yes.
What do you?
Yeah. Hey, you need to go back in history to understand it. So Latin is a Roman language. Rona, we are a Roman Dutch common law system.
Yes.
It's not common law, it's just British. So on a Roman Dutch common law. So the Romans came, the Dutch settled in Cape Town. The Dutch, then the British came, then the Roman aspect, I think through the Dutch as well. My jurisprudence law. So we have the Romans back in the day when they ruled almost the whole of Europe. They were Latin-speaking people.
Yes, there was a time where the Romans conquered it.
The Roman Empire was huge. So they're the ones who introduced law, in fact, and lawyers. If you go back in history, you will realize they're actually the first people that is saying this whole issue of having lawyers in place, where someone was accused of something. You know, there are people who became lawyers who had not studied law. At the firm I used to work with, we had one guy who was just a lawyer because of years of being. So back in the day, in Osnabo Law School, you would get attached to like a lawyer, and then you also become a lawyer. So teaching Yamala also in the latter years and so. So that's why some people you'll see in Ebanali BA English, the arts, Bachelor of Arts, and then you just go and do a little piece of law studying, then you are a lawyer. Before they eventually made it into a full program. So, so the Latin aspect is because we are a Roman Dutch common law country, Latin influence.
No, that makes sense. There's this thing, LLM. Why would somebody want to study an LLM?
I'll give you an example, Kanna. I work for a parastatal, water utilities. We did quite a number of projects. I'm actually just enrolling for an LLM construction law. You see, that's the I'm just going to go ahead. So that as we get into these projects, construction, project delivery, project contracting, project management, and all those issues that come with BOFIDIKI, CIDB, you want to know them quite more. So you can specialize, get an LLM because you want to enrich your knowledge in that space.
So Dimi, who did the LLM?
Didn't start a meet. Didn't see that. Guys, I know someone who has done an LLM in finance and I think banking law. Works for a bank. Where they have done human rights law.
Oh, I know somebody who is it mergers and acquisitions?
Yeah. So you want to do that because you want to sharpen your skill in that area. But generally, you don't need an LLM. if you don't want, a lot of guys in practice, ba bona lore. It's a waste. For example, now my former boss, Akil, LLM, he says to me, "Sama we go library. We had a fully fledged library. Anything you want to know that you want to go and specialize on, you can read about it there. You don't need
technical.
So I was like, plus when you're in private practice, you some also was gela but was a hero
move.
Yeah.
So this is what is a board secretary?
Aha. Now you have moved into spaces corporate. So a board secretary is someone who is appointed by virtue of the position provided for in the Companies Act. So it's either you're a lawyer or a chartered accountant. You can be a board secretary. So a board secretary will be that person who takes minutes for the board, facilitate the board meetings, advises the board. So most of the time they take a lawyer so that they can also provide that legal advice to the board. So it's a lawyer.
So chartered accountant and it's alone. Chartered accountant and it's alone.
I think because they belong to a section, I get that charter. It's either you are a CIMA chartered management accountant or ACCA, Association of Chartered Accountants, something like that. So because it's these associations because I go Britain. So I just suspect or possibly it's because England here. I'm not quite familiar but I suspect it's also because of the training and the expertise that they hold that they're recommended to become company secretaries or board secretary.
What would you like to say maybe as your parting shot to either maybe a child who would like to pursue a career in law, also just maybe summarize what does the fraternity look like, maybe in the midterm to long term, and also in the future with the advent of things like your AI chatbots and all of these things now that can draft me a letter and give me advice because they read 200 times faster than a human ever would.
So I think I'll start with the last one. AI. I think AI is going to really threaten not just lawyers, everyone, man. Every industry is under threat. Just yesterday we on Facebook we app edit the video so that you'll be able to
we don't see them as competition. Right now, if our turnaround time was 2 weeks, we run a little sort of 48 hours.
So I think for us, remember, we also made money through research, which took time. And so it took me 3 hours to read on this thing. And so I think AI is really going to be a threat to a lot of us. I think, like you're saying, we have to find a way to embrace it. How do we work with it? I think for the short term, I think the legal space is quite okay in Botswana. I think it's okay. We have the independence of the judiciary. We have peace, protection and freedom as lawyers to represent anyone. You don't get intimidations and so forth. So it's quite a very nice environment to work with. I say this because there's usually a video clip where things circulate multi socials but that's why we don't have those things here in Botswana. So that's the beauty of practicing Botswana. You don't get those intimidation tactics and so forth. You actually even saw like at the case the elections in 2019, guys let's go court, nobody was saying go out or what. So we still have quite things to really embrace. But I think in the long term, it's just really to hope we have body specialized courts, just so that issues can move much quicker. Like your family courts will be able to deal with issues GBV much quicker. Access we have people that are struggling to see their kids, the adoption and so forth. So I think Yeah, and then for someone out there who really wants to study law, that they will give with those you know, your Mangotai, your Semotswane, you know, your Ngojani, you know, those they should just, you know, trust the system is there, man. You just go through government schooling, do all you have, pasa, be pasa, and then, you know, get into practice. We have quite a lot of beautiful stories from guys ba leng gore ba go bolela bana gore eish mona ke godile go le thata ne re ntsana ke tsene ke simotse primary ke le 9 years old, and here I am, I'm a lawyer. So it can be done. Go Oscar Hakamala because I'm growing up in a village. Some of these jobs they'll be difficult to penetrate or to get into. What's in hell? I think because of what the government has for us. Like I say, not that I'm a product of public school. I see dual school fees other than 25 pula PTA, and then tsena go BASCO in fact so we still have quite a lot of these things available to benefit from. It's to continue to utilize good. I think do sitting way but now, like I'm telling you, let's go high and you can see guys just drop out of school but that willingness and you are like, this is just your ticket out. A lot of guys in so many countries, the primary education, dual. Junior secondary education, dual. Senior secondary education, dual. But they don't take those opportunities. Just to say to them, Oscar, don't despair. Whether go Satau, you know, all those good village Parakarungu, you know, when you how to go school, definitely you'll get somewhere.
No, those are profound words, man. Those are profound words, and I hope that they do actually impact somebody. I love the fact that you keep reiterating the fact that you're a government school baby, and also most of your schooling was hardly ever in the towns and the cities, like what most people would say. But look at where you are now. What advice? A whole parastate halka. Yeah, and I think through the persistence and the hard work, of course. But Mr. Ajit Peter Williams. Thank you very much, man, for your time.
Thanks for having me.